Hi there. Go ahead.
Senator Reid wants the president to support a 1-month extension of FISA. You okay with that?
Well, the Senate has had 6 months in order to work on this bill. In the letter that he wrote to the president today, he said they've been working diligently on it. I did see yesterday that he was going to move forward and push the bill through, try to push the bill through the Senate this week. They have 10 days, or about 9 days now, until the bill expires, until the law expires, and we would like to see them be able to try to get this done.
What is so odious about keeping the current law in place until all sides can hash out the various differences?
Well, look, there's been 6 months to hash out the differences. Actually, there's been a whole year and a half worth of hashing out the differences on this bill. And there was a robust debate, a hearty debate back in August when we got the bill that we have now. We did not think it was wise to put a 6-month sunset on this bill at the time. We do believe that the Senate Intelligence Bill represents a bipartisan solution to this, and that's what is on the Senate floor. And we believe that the Senate should be able to work through this, and we're hopeful that they'll be able to get it done this week, as he said he wanted to do. This is not a debate that's just been taking place the past couple of days. They've had debate since August, and even prior to that, about a year's worth of debate about this bill. So there's been plenty of time for everyone to have their say.
In the press conference this morning, Senator Schumer criticized what he called President Bush's, quote, laissez-faire attitude on housing and the economy, and he's added that...
Sorry, who is this?
Senator Schumer.
Okay.
And he said if Democrats had had their way, quote, things would have been done a lot more strongly and earlier. Rahm Emanuel is having a press conference.
I'm sorry, are you saying this about housing?
Let me finish. Rahm Emanuel is also having a press conference right now blasting the president's economic policies. Does it concern you that Democrats say they want to work with you, but then some of them, in the same breath, seem to be blaming the White House for the situation?
And it's so typical of how so many people work in Washington, and quite unfortunate. And I think it's really ironic, if that is an accurate quote, and I've not seen the comments, that they would have done more on housing, or they would have acted more quickly. It was this president who on August 31st put forward a package asking Congress to act on it. They did nothing. And for the past year and a half, we've asked for modernization of the Federal Housing Administration. They've done nothing. And another senator that was just mentioned, who had been out on the campaign trail, hadn't even been able to hold committee votes. And so I find it really ironic that they would suggest that this president hasn't tried to do enough on housing, because we have. But if they want to go down that road and not work with the administration, the label of the do-nothing Congress could stick in 2008 as it did in 2007.
So does this economic slowdown or downturn or recession, whatever we want to call it, but slowdown...
There's a slowdown for sure.
Does what you call the do-nothing Congress of 2007, do they share some of the blame for the fact that we are facing this slowdown?
I'm not blaming anyone, but what I am saying is anyone who is suggesting that this president should have done more on housing should not be saying that if it is in fact the Congress who hasn't acted at all. That's my point. I'm not blaming this on anybody. Go ahead.
Any reaction to the study out from the Center for Public Integrity and the Fund for Independence in Journalism, where they did what they called a count of hundreds of false statements made by the president and top administration officials regarding the threat posed by Iraq, and they counted during the 2 years after 9/11.
I hardly think that this study is worth spending any time on. It is so flawed in terms of taking anything into context or including, they only looked at members of the administration rather than looking at members of Congress or people around the world, because as you'll remember, we were part of a broad coalition of countries that deposed a dictator based on a collective understanding of the intelligence. And the other thing that study fails to do is to say that after realizing that there was no WMD as we thought as a collective body that this White House, the president, set about to make reforms in the intelligence community to make sure that it doesn't happen again. So that's all I have to say on that.